All right. Hello and welcome to Ep 4 of the OzPower podcast. We are down the road in Geelong today at Be Strong Fitness. And here with Pat. What did I say?
Be Strong Fitness Geelong.
Be Strong Fit. Did I say Be Strong Geelong Fitness?
Correct.
Yes. I mean,
The words are all there.
we're off to a good start. Does that mean because
Be Strong Geelong.
That's time out.
Be Strong
Same
Fitness
thing.
Geelong, because there's Strong Geelong. Is another Geelong. So let's just start again.
So we're starting it.
Be Strong Fitness.
I'll do it again.
I saw that sign.
Be Strong Fitness Geelong.
Correct.
Be Strong Fitness Geelong. Hello and welcome to Ep 4 of the OzPower podcast. We are here at Be Strong Fitness Geelong. Correct. I'm James. I'm here with Pat as usual. And today we've got two very special guests. We've got Joe and Dakoda.
What's up?
Welcome aboard.
Stop looking at the camera.
What camera?
My camera. Totally unprepared. I didn't know.
Just to kick things off, can we get you guys to just give us a quick bio, how you got into the sport, what it is you love about the sport, how long you've been involved, etc.
My name's Dakoda.
Excellent.
My name's Joanne Greagen. What was the questions? How long have I been in the sport?
Yeah, so how did you get into it? Let's do also your weight class.
Yep.
And yeah, how long have you been doing it? How did you get into it?
Right.
Let's start with that.
So, I got into it because I was actually wanting to get into the CFA and started doing strength training.
Yep.
That kind of went down a different path for personal reasons, and I just still wanted goals to do. So I actually entered in a Strongwoman competition, loved it, but then just went on to powerlifting. I was training at Elite Sports Performance in Williamstown,
Yep.
and they're all powerlifters, and I was like, let's do it. So I was like, done.
Cool.
How long ago was that?
Yeah.
How many years?
Started training when I was 27. I think my first comp was Pro Raw 5.
Okay.
This is like 2013,
Yep.
I think. So that was a wild card entry by Marcos. So I did like a little novice comp at the gym, and then I started looking to federations and contacted Marcos.
Yep.
And he said, your lifts are amazing, come do this comp. And I'm like, they're really not that good. But yeah, so that was my first comp.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
I've been doing it for about 2.5 years, I think. I compete in the under 75s, and I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, I was just doing random bodybuilder style training, and then my brother-in-law actually trained with Joe, and he suggested that I talk to her. And I still remember my first session.
So do I.
It was so shit. I regretted it, but it was
still
good.
remember the session too. I actually still remember the session.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us about it? Why is it so memorable?
I remember one thing. It was my core is so weak, and
Not anymore.
well, no, not as weak as it was. But she had me doing like lying leg raises, and it was
I'm like,
it was an
look,
experience.
We'll start easy. We'll just do 10 reps, and I'll just cut it back to 5. But that's okay. It's all good.
It was an eye opener, that's for sure.
So that was about 2014, 15, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think
2.5 years ago or
so.
something?
Just over 2.5
Around
years.
2.5, maybe 3.
Yeah,
Been here for 18 months, and then 12 months in the home gym.
yeah.
Had you come across with the intention of becoming a competitive powerlifter, or it was just let's get fit, let's get a bit stronger?
Yeah, I just wanted to get stronger, and then she just like kind of tricked me into it.
Hence why I said I'd trick her into being a professional basketball player.
It's the next goal. One sport at a time.
Cool.
Cool. Yep. So when did you realise that you actually wanted to do that? Like, how did you get tricked into doing it?
Fuck.
Like, did Joe just put your name down for a comp, or did you?
No,
had
just
you mentioned
secretly.
you
So
wanted
she just
or-
wanted to train and get stronger,
Yeah.
and then she still had an interest in bodybuilding. I think her boyfriend at
Yeah.
the time was doing bodybuilding,
Yep.
and my programs always just led to a 1RM at a convenient date.
Accidentally well planned.
Accidentally, hey, let's all train today in the gym and test our 1RMs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry. There you go.
given the length of time you've both been in the sport, how many comps have you done, if you can recall?
Powerlifting,
Yep.
I've pretty much done 3 a year.
Okay.
So I've always kind of done, so Pro Raw was my first official comp, but then since then I've always done states, nationals, Pro Raw with the exception of last year's Pro Raw. So
And
I've
this year's
just-
states.
And this year's states because I did this year's Pro Raw.
Yeah.
Oh, but then I've also done 2 equipped comps. So I
Okay.
did Summer Classic equipped
Yeah.
last year, and I did the National equipped in Queensland last year too. So last year all up, I did 9 competitions in total between January and September, including strongman.
Wow.
It was horrible.
Wow,
Yeah,
I mean, it was
that's insane.
great, but my body was broken. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So you just brought up Strongwoman or Strongman.
Yep.
So how long have you been doing that for?
Exactly the same amount of time. So as I said, my intentions were just strength and conditioning, just to get stronger. Someone came into the gym one day and they were like, oh, you should do this Vic's Strongest Man-Woman comp. They've got next to no girls, come do it. I said, all right. So I'd never done a comp before and I had 3 weeks to prep for that. They told me the weights and I'm like, shit. But I placed first, dropped an axle on my leg. Look, I'm still bruised. Split my leg open. It was horrible. But I still placed first. And then 6 weeks later I did a novice comp and then got the invite to...
Okay, cool.
And then I kept trying to do Strongwoman, but as I mentioned earlier, there was no one... There was heaps of comps, just kept pulling out of them, that's all. So.
Okay, so
Or they kept cancelling them.
yeah, so we were going to cover that later. We might as well do it now because
Okay.
it's kind of on the same.
I know, I tried to start.
No, it's
Not hard enough.
This is why we turned our notes over.
So you head up Strongwoman Australia.
Yes.
So what is Strongwoman Australia? How did it come about?
Yeah, so what Strongwoman Australia is just it's a support group for women who are interested in doing Strongwoman or Strongman. I don't care whether we say Strongwoman or Strongman, it doesn't matter, same thing.
Do they differentiate? Like, is it ever
They do-
advertised as Strongwoman
Yes,
specifically?
it is now. It is now. Never used to be, just used to be Strongman.
Yeah.
So as I said, a lot of the comps that I entered into getting cancelled, there just wasn't enough women. So I would like put my money in, I'd pay it, get my entry fee returned several times. Started training at Iron Revolution to get some strongman stuff in. Like there was nowhere in Geelong at the time. And they had a couple of other girls there that were also training with me on Saturdays. We were kind of the only ones at the time, and we kind of sat down and said, well, let's see how we can make this grow. What can we do? So we started up that group. So on top of that, we've got support group as well. So there's a closed group, which is women's only.
Yeah.
So we all just chat really, and it's just grown. It's grown so much. So I feel like it's been worth it.
That's awesome. And anyone that's interested in joining that Facebook groups and what have you.
Yeah, so if you just
awesome.
go to the Strongwoman Australia Facebook page, you can join our private groups through that. And we just started a blog recently, which I'm not an awesome writer, but I'm trying. And so we're just putting up an athlete of the month every month, so trying to just get a feel for all the different people out there and who's been entering the sport and how they've been going, that kind of stuff.
So how many entrants does it take to have a competition, first of all? And for anyone that doesn't know, is it divided up into weight classes like powerlifting? How does an event normally run?
So I guess it's just up to the person who runs the comp.
Yep.
With how many people there needs to be entering,
Okay.
but clearly I was entering and maybe one wasn't enough. I don't know if anyone else was entering, but I was getting told the comp couldn't go ahead. So they would still run the men's.
Same thing.
Same thing. They'd still run those divisions and the women just got axed, I guess. I don't know what to say. What was your other things? There was a few things.
I can't remember.
Me
What was
either.
So,
Weight classes?
yeah, so weight classes.
So up until this year, so this year it's just changed. So there was under 65, under 75 and open.
Yeah.
This is for women, so the men there's a few more classes.
Yeah.
This year they've changed they've got rid of the 75 class and turned it into an 82 class to fall in line with just all the other countries and the weight classes that they use, so that our comps can start qualifying for international competitions.
Yeah, cool. Makes sense. So this year you did Pro Raw. So you did Pro Raw on the Friday.
Yes.
And you did the Strongwoman at the Arnold's. Was it the Saturday? Or was it
Saturday.
Sunday? How
So
was
2
that?
comps, 2 days.
And actually, it wasn't easy. It wasn't horrible, but the training was really demanding. So the actual end result wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
You know, I ended up placing third at Pro Raw, which, you know, I'd come in and my training sessions consisted of heavy back squats, heavy deadlifts, heavy yoke on one day, and I'd just walk out, I'd crawl out like. So the fact that I was still able to somehow pull it together and place third was really exciting. Like, because I was just like, I'm not going to place. Like, I'll just do the best I can and whatever. Taxed me a lot for the strongman the next day. Like, I did a lot better than what I thought though. So in training, the yoke had been really hard, but clearly it had been after my other lifts. Yeah. So having a day's rest, even though that might not sound like a lot, it actually helped a lot. So I got through the yoke without any drops. It was 230. So me being 70 kilos going into 82 class, that's like over 3 times my body weight, I think. Whereas for some of the girls, it's not that much because they're, you know, 82 class. So I was pretty happy to make the distance. Come down to deadlifts though, and it's 170 kilos, couldn't budge it. It's like, I'm gonna have to leave that one. I just walked off. I'm like, I can't lift it.
Was it a deadlift for reps?
It was actually axle too, so it should have been easy. Like, it was at that height. Like, you can't see because like there's a table there, but this high off the ground. And I looked back at the video and I could tell my hands weren't set up in the right place because obviously with an axle you got no little lines telling you where to put your hands, and I looked at all that and I'm like, maybe, but I was still pretty happy. I placed 7th, so out of 20, so I was still pretty happy with.
Okay, so there was 20 in your weight class?
Yes.
So was there 20 in each weight class?
No. So that's another really exciting point, which I don't know if you've read about it or not, but like my first Arnold Classic was not last year, the year before. It was an under 75 class only, so it was the first time they ever had women at the Arnold Classic, and it was under 75s. They wouldn't allow any other classes in, so that was a bit crazy, but we pretty much had to ring up and nag people to compete. There was a few like, yes, I want to do it, and then the rest we had to nag. Like, I was constantly messaging people, please come compete, like you'll be fine, I'll help you, I'll teach you how to do things, like let's just do it. And I think we ended up with, God, I can't remember, I feel like there may have been
20,
10 people competing, 10 girls. This year we had 3 classes, so each of what I said before, 65, 82 and open. And I think there was the 82 class, the open class had the least competitors, but still I think there would have been at least 12 or 13 girls there. My class, I keep saying 20, but it's somewhere between 18 and 20.
So it's really exploding, kind of like
it's
growing. Sports are going on.
Definitely. And now we've got federations too, which we never had before in Strongman.
So you didn't do Pro Raw last year. Is that why you didn't do it? Did you? Yeah, okay.
So there was a 75 class last year with the Strongwoman, and I was really promoting Strongwoman, and I feel like I needed to put in, do you know what I mean? Everything into that at that time, which is why I didn't do Pro Raw. And I still wanted to do states to qualify for nationals. So I hadn't done states yet, so I really wanted to try and get a good total so that I could make it to nationals that year.
Yeah, fair enough. So Dakoda, you did Pro Raw this year.
Yes.
Under 75s. How did you go with that?
I came 10th out of 15, which is awesome. My aim was not to come last, and I think I did pretty well.
So, and you've just had states 2 weekends ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah. And qualified for nationals?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now before you did Pro Raw, you had 6 months off competition?
6 months,
Okay. So with nationals, it's going to be 3 comps in like 4 months? 5 months?
About that. Yeah.
So how's your preparation going for that? Like, how do you prepare to have that many comps in that short a period?
Before I took the 6 months off, I don't think I had a long break before that. So to have that 6 months off, I was really excited coming into Pro Raw. Like, I felt ready.
Yeah.
And then only had, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks. Between. So I didn't feel as bad as I thought. Like, I wasn't as tired or exhausted. I definitely didn't recover as well, but I did a lot better at states than I thought I would. And there's about 14 weeks until nationals, I think. So
I think it's 13.
Something like that.
Yeah. So it's long enough for me to prepare and hopefully
Recover and bounce back.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be too bad.
So you're competing in the under 75s.
Yes.
What did you weigh in at states?
First time or the second time?
So the So the first time I was 200 grams over,
Right.
and then I thought it was spat into a cup, and then I was 75 on the dot.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
So you're generally right on the cutoff.
She's generally
Spot on.
100
Yeah.
grams over every
Every single time. Pro Raw, I was 300 or 200 over.
Yeah.
And then...
Which is pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nationals.
how does your training go? Because obviously that's a consideration. You're trying to keep within the 75s, and your general weight is right on 75 or just over. So how do you plan around that? Like who does? Okay, let me split this up. Who does your nutrition first of all? Your nutrition planning.
Yep.
And what are the considerations for that? And how do you recover? Because obviously you're not going to be on a massive surplus of calories because you're trying to maintain the weight.
Yeah. I usually sit like, I don't know, if I'm not too bad, like 77, 78.
Yeah.
But then I was pretty good between, like, the aim for Pro Raw was to get down to 75 and kind of sit there before rather than cutting, because I hate cutting. And it was a 2 hour
Same
weigh.
day, yeah.
Same day weigh-in. So we wanted to try and maximise energy. Training on the 75, like, hasn't really, I haven't found that it's taxed my strength or my energy levels too much. Like, I'm still, Joe does my nutrition, and it's just like counting calories and stuff like that. Like, it's not too restricted, it's just clean, really. I'm generally not too hungry or anything on it. Like, I'm at like 2,000 at the moment, but we've just started for nationals, so
You're getting stronger between each comp.
And the plan is to, like, so this time round, so she's starting a long way out. She actually hit me up early, which is very exciting. And I'm like,
I had a
hey,
good
you better-
week.
You better stick with this. Last week was good. She started yesterday, so it's good.
yeah, that's why it's good.
But the goal, I guess, would be to try and, so we're going to see where she goes, because everyone's a little bit different and everyone burns calories at different rates and all the rest of it. So we're just going to start her off where we started, see whether this is going to make her maintain or lose weight. Do you know what I mean? And we're just going to reassess each week. So the idea would be to get her, I mean, I'm not opposed to cutting a kilo, you know, like, I kind of think if you can sit a kilo to 2 kilos above, that's okay. Like, it's an easy cut, it's an easy refeed. There's not a lot of thought process in it. It's when people start going beyond that, or if they're super lean. So there's some super lean people, and then they turn around and go, I've got to lose 4 kilos. And no,
I think
just
the
go
worst
up.
we did was like 6 kilos in 6 days.
All of them, all of yous.
Yeah.
Yeah, went down to a nationals, and they're like, what, a week out, and so we're still 6
I was like
kilos
81
in.
kilos. I was like, ooh.
But everyone was, the whole group had to lose like 6 kilos, and I'm like,
was the
thanks
first
for letting me
time-
know earlier.
First time I ran on a treadmill in jeans, I think. And thongs, I think, in a jumper.
Wasn't ideal.
That was great on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone did PBs still, though. At that comp.
Yeah,
I reckon everyone
yeah.
did. So, like, it worked.
APL.
Yeah.
So how do you guys cut weight? Like, do you do water loading, or do you, like, what's your go-to?
Depends. Oh, we've kind of got a system in place now, don't we? That we
Yeah.
kind of follow every time. It seems to work. But we do water load, so that's probably the majority of the weight. When it's only like 2 kilos, like, when we don't even start that far out now, it's probably like, we've kind of refined it so that we can eat for longer, you know? Like, so what is it now? We're down to like 5-6 days beforehand we start
if
water
that.
loading.
Okay.
And then
I think I did 4 days for States, that's it.
yeah. And then we just kind of, so you water load hard and then start tapering. I was like, kind of complicated. I feel like I should have written it down for you. But yeah, basically water load. And then we just monitor. So we monitor how everyone's going. Everyone will send in their macros and where they're at with me each day, and they'll send in their weight for those last 5 days. And I'll go, okay, this person, you know, your weight's not dropping off as much anymore, so we're going to have to cut some carbs out. You know, what are you having? Because I let people pick their own food, and then I kind of go, okay, maybe your stuff's too salty. Maybe this is going on. Like, I'm not a nutritionist, so I'd be careful. I don't kind of guide too much. Like, I'm happy to help people cut and work out their macros, that kind of stuff, but I don't like to advise so much on actual food types. Because
So
it's not my job. Like, there's people out there who study that and get paid to do that. So
that was going to be one of our questions, is you kind of stick to just like, if it fits your macros type setup.
And like, I've got my chiro actually Hannah Pickford. So she's a nutritionist and she offers our gym certain things that we're going to be starting up soon too. So that's all about how you should make up your macros. So we start that in June, so she'll come and give a chat here, and if people are interested, they can come and do that. So
Yeah, cool. That sounds awesome.
that way I can still just say, do your macros, and they can get the nutrition from her.
Yeah, okay. So you're both competing in nationals this year?
Yes.
Yeah. So under 75s were covered, and under 67?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think you'll go? Like, what's the competition like? What are you expecting from this comp?
Strong. Everyone's got so strong. I don't even know anymore. Do you know what I've learned from Pro Raw is just forget about it. Like, I don't even focus. I don't look at the other girls. Unless, of course, their things come up in news feeds. Like, I like to, I feel like I'm supportive of everybody, so I like to see it. But I used to be like that person who'd be like, what's everyone else doing?
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm kind of like, just focus on yourself. I did not know I was third at Pro Raw until I was told I was third.
Yep.
I'm like,
I think that's how it should be though.
Yeah.
So, and I hit all PBs. I hit a massive total PB for me. So, you know,
Awesome.
yeah.
Can't really
But
ask
I
for much
know
more.
they're strong. Like, they're really strong.
There's
the girls,
a lot of really
like,
strong women now.
yeah,
insane.
there's heaps. So I mean, if it comes down to it, on the day you could turn around. I mean, Dave will coach me on the day for nationals, so I don't have to think about it. If he turns around and says, Joe, you need to pull this amount, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, cool.
You know, at the end of the day, that's what a nationals comes down to. It's not all about PBs.
Yes.
You know, but I'll just trust someone else's judgment. If he thinks that I can't pull that number to beat that person or whatever, then I'll go back to hitting PBs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Good. Yeah. And Dakoda, you feel the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I find like, I mean, it'd be awesome to place, but I'd rather PB and do better than I have in the past.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Definitely.
Okay. So you've just mentioned that you've kind of had a quick turnaround to do nationals from states. Normally, how do you break up your training cycles? So if you had more time to prepare, do you take a break from strength training? Like, do you do hypertrophy work, or do you do, like, I know you do a lot of strongman stuff yourself, and you've just started doing weightlifting?
just stopped doing weightlifting.
Stopped.
I didn't start. Didn't last long. I mean, I loved it. It was actually a lot of fun, but I ended up with bilateral knee tendonitis, and that was actually leading into Pro Raw. So 10 weeks out, I had to stop my weightlifting because I was in so much pain. I couldn't even sleep. I had to wrap my knees for 50 kilograms on the bar through that whole prep going into Pro Raw.
What did you squat at Pro Raw, based on dealing with that leading in?
What was that?
What did you squat at Pro Raw?
195.
Okay.
So 2.5 PB still. So
Awesome.
I was a weight class heavier though also. So instead of 67, I went in, I think it's 71.
But still to be managing that sort of an injury.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like the whole, well, as I said, like I was doing the strongman too. I shouldn't say it was horrible. It's just tough. It was just a tough prep. Like, but these things happen.
And that's why you've been doing so many front squats on Instagram?
Yes, oh my God, front squats galore. Tomorrow is now known as Death by Front Squat. Thanks to Travis Mash is doing my programming at the moment, so thanks to him.
Yeah. So what actually happened with the tendonitis in your knees, and what was the diagnosis, I guess? Like
I feel like I've seen a few people who said a few different things, but at the end of the day, my tendons were just, my quad tendons at the top of my knee were just so inflamed that like my legs would just buckle underneath me when I was walking. So I had to strap my knees for everything. When we went down to Sydney, do you remember that?
Yeah, it was horrible.
I went and bought these ice things that I could strap onto my legs after every training session. I just
They were
walk around
actually
with my
really
legs.
convenient.
They were really good.
Yeah.
I actually still have one. But it was excruciating. So got through Pro Raw and I've had like 5 weeks, which might not seem like long, but I've flossed to my knees every single day. I have had dry needling in through my knees and my quads. It's so painful. What's that thing? Do you remember that?
Graston.
Graston? Oh my God.
It's nasty. It's like a
it's amazing.
steel implement.
Look like a
kind of work that-
Is that where they scratch the?
It's not scratching, man. It looks like scratching.
Yeah, they
Feels like scratching.
It looks like
I'm like,
looks painful.
oh my God, it was. I've had a lot of work.
Rookie and
Maybe.
PTC Perth, I think they do it at their
Yeah.
I think
gym.
even Colin does it as well. I saw him playing with a couple of people at Pro Raw and stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It looks
horrible.
I feel like it helped.
Yeah.
I feel like it helped. I've had a lot of people offering me advice, and I'd done everything everyone told me. Like, I'm one of those people. If someone says, go do this, I'll go, okay, I'm going to do it. Like, everything. I had kettlebells sitting on my leg, like rubbing the kettlebell on my leg. Someone said that was a good idea. But at the end of the day, I got that treatment. Floss, I still floss them every single day because like every time I start squatting, it hurts. And that's even after warming up. So every day I have to come in, I roll out, like floss, put stuff, like deep heat. It's not that, but it's like that on my knees. But the heat's better. And as I said, I've been following, Trevor Smash has been doing my programming and I told him about it. So his focus has been getting my knees right. And at the start I was like, I'm going to trust you, but Jesus Christ, like 100 million lateral bloody lunges and front squats. And I was panicking. I was like, my knees are going to be screwed. But each day they just kept getting better and better and better. So I feel like I'm on a roll now. So hopefully, hopefully I can do bigger numbers rather than the same.
So we'll come back to what you were saying in a sec because I want to talk to you about recovery stuff. But before that, I know that Dakoda, you had some issues with your elbow tendonitis.
Yes.
That was before Pro Raw as
fantastic.
well?
Yes. It's about...
It's awesome.
My injuries usually have really good timing. So like, I think it was a month out from Pro Raw, I hurt the tendon behind my knee, which recovered in like a week. Like it was fine. I just
But
had
it
to
makes you
skip.
panic for that second.
Yeah, I just had to box squat for a week, but it was like when we started rapping and going heavy, and I was like, fuck, I'm already behind. And then around the same time that happened, I started getting like really bad pain through my bicep, and I think I only missed out on 1 or 2 bench sessions, but I had to cut back like the assistance work. I had to, like, the second bench session was gone. Like, there's no way. Like, I'd get to 50 kilos and that would be fine. Then we chuck on 60 and I wouldn't be able to push it off my chest. It's really frustrating, like, to
Come so far.
to come so far and know that you can do it and you just can't. Like, it's really frustrating. I had a lot of people contact me about it, and like there's a Facebook page, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know if it's Strongman or powerlifting or something like that. There's a huge article on tendonitis, and everyone had different views on it, and everyone had different meanings and stuff. So that had heaps of information. So that was really helpful, just reading through that. But
is that something that's still...
It's not as bad. I think the deload after Pro Raw really helped, and throughout like the months before states, it didn't flare up. I have been
Change bar position on
the
the back.
as well.
with
Yeah,
the squats
from
as well, which I reckon
low
helped.
bar
from low
Because
to
their bar was getting lower and lower, wasn't it? It's like we started off going, look, I think we should move the bar a little bit lower on your back, sort of high bar squatting, and then it was in a perfect position. And
it just kept
one
going
day I
down.
just looked at her and I thought,
It's like on my lower back.
what are you doing? Where's the bar gone?
Too low. Sounds like low high bar.
Yeah.
So I think that helped heaps. I think I didn't really recovery wise. I didn't really do a lot of it, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I do now. I do a lot more now. Like I come in like an hour or half an hour before and make sure I'm warmed up because I know how important it is now. And
What sort of stuff are you doing to warm up to get yourself going so you don't?
just mainly like stretches, rolling, like a lot of the band stuff. I have no
Mobility
idea.
kind of.
Mobility type
Well,
stuff.
at muscle activation too, don't do
Yeah.
a huge amount of stretching.
I don't know what the names of anything are, but I do a lot of it.
Just
Do you know
making
what?
sure you're warming up.
Really, it's
Yeah.
stuff that, like, if you go to a physio and they go, oh, you need to do these kind of things, they're the kind of things we do as muscle activation or warm-up. So rather than coming on a separate day or whatever to do those exercises for rehab or prehab or whatever, we just incorporate them into our
Yeah,
warm-ups.
Yeah, awesome. So, both of you were injured just before Pro Raw. At any point, did you consider pulling out of it?
No.
No, not for a second?
No.
So, the follow-up question to that would be why? Like, what kept you pushing through it? Because
There's-
obviously the injury was pretty bad. Like, you're at the point where you can't even squat without wrapping.
Same
You
here.
can barely even press off your chest. Why did you keep going?
I think we kind of have an okay body together. Like,
I mean, combined,
Like,
combined. I don't know. For me, it's because I could still squat. Well, I could just squat. Like my arm, pretty much. Like I couldn't even hold. I felt like the bar was just going to slip off because my arm stopped working.
Yeah.
But my deadlifts were going great. So there was still a shot to PR because it didn't hurt then. I don't know. It never crossed my mind. The only time I've ever thought about pulling out was the last pro raw, we changed from high bar to low bar squats, and I've never experienced
She
anything so
hates
fucking
me when I
frustrating
change her technique.
ever.
No, you got angry with the deadlift
I did.
change too.
I left. I cried. I was like, "Fuck
I'm
this!"
like, she'll come back.
I walked out. I was like, "I'm done.
She'll be back next
done." Yeah. It's the only time, but I don't know. Never even crossed my mind. I was like, if I can still press, I'll press 60 kilos if I have to.
So what I'm getting at is, what do you tell yourself in that point? Because obviously, when you're dealing with an injury, it gets very frustrating, and a lot of the time there's not necessarily something when you're doing all the treatment and stuff, but doesn't always respond.
Yeah.
What do you say to yourself when you're feeling like shit? How do you get yourself motivated to keep going?
I try to think about the past injuries I've had.
Yeah,
and
I was
the
going to say
fact-
exactly the same thing.
The fact that like
That you're
you
better
get
now
through
than
it.
you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do. You get through it, and like, I feel like over time you can learn when something's maybe gone too far and when you need to back off, and you just kind of pick those things up. And I've had a few injuries. I split my quad. That was so bad.
Fucked up.
I had my first comp, I think it was 6 weeks after that. I couldn't squat, like my first powerlifting squat. So the entire session I had to do good mornings. Like for that entire 6 weeks, I still went in and hit a PB with raw. So I know that you don't need to actually do the lifts to get better at the lifts. There's always another way around it. Like you've got to be creative. You've got to
can
come
work
up.
around it.
Yeah, there's always something. And even with Dakoda, like for her programming for Pro Raw, like we had a set program in place, but to be completely honest, it's very rare for the girls in here to have their program and stick to it the entire program.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't happen. Online people's a little bit different because unless they get back to me and give me the feedback, I can't alter things. But Dakoda had come in, she tried to squat, and I think you were meant to work up to heavy doubles, so don't worry about it, just do singles. This is the weight I would have liked to see you do today for double, we'll pull it back. We'll just get one done, leave it.
Yeah.
That's an important one too. I like that. So you need to have that flexibility in your programming. Like it's all well and good to map out a prep for 16 weeks or 12 weeks, however long. But if the shit hits the fan, you kind of
what's gonna happen.
you're happy to do that. Have that flexibility.
100%. And you learn that from. I know it probably sounds bad because I know there's so many people sit there and go, "Oh, you should never get injured," blah blah blah. But you know what we do?
Yeah.
And you know what, we do some silly things and we get injured from them, and that's okay. Like it's all about learning and going, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But those injuries teach you things.
Yes.
They teach you different styles of training. They teach you different people, like allied health professions. They help you pick which ones are going to work for what injuries. Like I know who I should go see for my knee. I know who I should go see if this is sore. Like, so you're not wasting money. And I don't know, I feel like you learn a lot, and it makes it easier as a coach to sit there and go, okay, well, I've actually experienced all these things, or I haven't experienced exactly that, but I kind of know what you're going through, so let's try this instead. You don't have to do it that way. There's other ways.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So we'll go back to the recovery stuff. So if you want to cover like soft tissue stuff, so you just said you know who to go to practitioner-wise. Is there any other stuff that you do as well? Like, is there anything that you work into your routine on a weekly basis for recovery?
Well, other than what I just said about my knees then. For recovery, I always do things like every week, without a doubt, before I start my sessions, I do my glute activation. So I don't know if you class these as recovery, but I guess in a way they are,
stuff,
like back raises, reverse hypers, sometimes light stiff leg deadlifts, sometimes we do dumbbell stuff. It just depends on what it is. Rotators, when our shoulders are playing up, we start trying different variations of rotator work.
I guess it's good because you do the way she does programming is 4 weeks, blocks.
Yeah.
So if there is
programming.
something, so at least if there is something that you need to work on or something, you can
we
just
can
chuck
alter
in
it.
and-
So usually, if I have my templates at home, I have I'll set it up. So I think we've got 13 weeks, as I said, to nationals now. So I sit down and I look at my little thing in little lines and I go, okay, we've got a peaking system which we always follow. It works. It's perfect. I love it. So that's mapped out. Those last 4 weeks are done. In terms of main lifts.
Yep.
And then I only map out the main lifts. That's it. For the rest, all the way up. I kind of work backwards and I only do main lifts. We're trying a few different things, which Dakoda's probably noticed, which I've learned, as I said, from following Travis Smash now. So that's the good thing about following other people's programs is you pick up different training styles. And there's a few things that I really, really love about his programming. And I thought, how can I utilize those.
Yep.
So we're trying a few different things in this little beginning period, you know, because it's not going to affect what's going to happen later if it doesn't quite work out or I can't. Because I'm not following his program for these girls, so I've implemented my version of that. Yeah. So I honestly, I think I've done okay, but we'll have to wait and find out.
Let's hope so.
But it's not too late. What I'm trying to say is these 3 weeks, it's not too late to actually deviate back. So we've got plenty of time. And so I kind of actually have 2 templates, if that makes sense. So I have my standard template, I have this variation, and I have how we can map it back and slowly work back the other way if it's not quite working out.
Yeah, cool. What sort of, with your programming, what sort of incremental jumps are you trying to make? Like, are you looking at comps trying to hit 2.5 kilo PRs, 5 kilo PRs? You don't at all? Okay.
Sorry, that's one thing I don't do. The only time I ever do that, so you're asking about Dakoda's programming going between Pro Raw.
Both of you. So if you're obviously you're going comp to comp trying to PR.
Yep.
So how do you program?
So I don't ever pre-pick my jumps before I start a program.
Right.
I never know what I'm going to hit at the end of the program until I get towards the end of the program.
Okay.
The only time I do it is like what I was going to say is when Dakoda was going into states. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to hit because we have such a short period of time, and I have to look at it and go, okay, we need to deload for 1 week. She needs to recover from that comp. Her elbow was sore, her knee thing that she was talking about. So she's got to recover. She's got to have time off.
Yeah.
So we only have 4 weeks, and that takes us to the peaking system that I've already developed. So then I had to sit there and go, if I make her go and hit the same numbers as she hit coming into Pro Raw without having this conditioning block, she's going to be screwed. So I sat there and went, okay, what do I want her to hit?
Yeah.
And then I map that backwards.
Yeah.
And I go, what can we get away with? So, you know, we pushed her squats, I think, to 165 for a double going into Pro Raw, but I backed it off and only pushed it to 160. And that wasn't even the intentions at the start. It was like, let's just qualify for nationals. Let's just, because that's a tough thing to do, backing 2 comps up with PBs. But she started looking really good again. And I thought, well, she's recovered. Like, I didn't think she'd recover that quick. She did recover that quick. She was ready to go. Her lifts were looking smooth. I'm like, stuff it, let's go for PBs.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So with your, let's go to actual comp day now.
Yeah.
So you've done your programming. What do you try to hit as openers? Like, how do you pick your openers?
Usually, so the general rule is a couple of weeks out, what we can hit for a double is going to be our opener at the comp.
Okay.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
Sometimes we back it off and play it extra safe. If I look at someone and go, look, they've got 6 kilos to cut AP on nationals. I'll look at their doubles because I'm like, well, they hit those doubles at like 80 odd kilos. Can they hit that nicely at 75?
Yes, they can.
Yeah, they can. And plus some. But yeah, so we never really hit our seconds in training.
Right.
I know a lot of people do that. They hit their seconds in training. We don't. So our seconds are usually PBs.
Yeah, cool. So in your programming, you never work to singles. You only ever go as high as doubles.
Yeah, unless of course an injury's happened, in which case, like I said with Dakoda, we worked her to singles, not to doubles. But they're not max effort singles.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
In saying that, Kat and Renee leading into states, and because I learned my clients, I learned them pretty well, and I could tell they were feeling a bit anxious, and I knew they could do stuff.
Right.
But I didn't feel like they knew they could. So I worked them up to their seconds.
Yeah.
And I said, stuff it, let's just do it today.
Yeah.
And they're like, I've never done this. But they did it, and they hit them, and they were easy lifts, and I said, all right, you know you can do them now. We've still got,
Now you've got the confidence.
10 days, let's just recover. Let's have fun.
Cool. So just back to recovery for 1 second.
Yeah,
do you get...
It's my bad.
That's right. It always happens. Are you getting, or do you recommend that your clients get regular massaging?
I do,
Yeah.
but I understand that it's not financially viable for everybody to do that, which is why I'm set out and I've taught everyone, like you can see up on the board, that's a general rule of thumb for people who walk through the door and just want to do a warm-up. You know, we have that in there. We teach everyone, we've got all the mobility stuff, the rolling, balls, everything's over there. If someone says this is sore, I go, all right, let's try these. We've got a band hanging up there, that green one, permanently stretching out your arms. Set up things for everything, really.
So you try to make them responsible for their own body as opposed to...
And if there's something like, I mean, I'm definitely, that's not my profession, but I can sit down and go, yeah, look, you've got to go see someone, I can't help you with that.
Okay. Yeah, so it's more rehab work rather than
Yeah.
maintenance work?
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
recommend something?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The gym. So we're sitting in your gym.
Yes.
Be Strong Fitness.
Yay.
So you own it with your partner?
Yes.
Dave?
Yep, Dave.
Yep. So how long has the gym been open?
18 months. It's nearly been 2 years.
Yeah.
We got the lease in June, but we didn't really officially open until September, but I still trained everyone here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's the focus mainly for the gym? Like, is it all about powerlifting or all about
No,
strongman?
not
Get a
at
lot of people
all,
just
actually.
wanting general strength training? Or?
It's all about, I'm going to say functional kind of training. I don't like to use that word all the time because I feel like there's a lot of people that use it, but it really is like, we run our classes, so we run boxing, we run cross training, which is just varied, whatever kind of, whoever's turning up, we kind of go, all right, we know these people love this, and it's just about keeping their heart rate up, or, you know, these people really want to be challenged and lift heavier weights, and then we just kind of work it out, you know, you get to know the people coming in.
Yeah, cool.
It's really just about, I don't even know how to, it's everything, but it's not. It's not random as in, you know, there's always a purpose. So every single person here, every single member has a purpose, has something that they're trying to achieve.
Right, but not everyone competes necessarily.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've all got completely different goals,
Yes.
but everyone has a goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we like it that way. So we have someone come in that doesn't have goals, we kind of try and steer them towards
Yeah.
something like,
So how many people from here do compete, whether it's powerlifting, strongman, whatever it is?
well, there's a few now, isn't there? Well, did we just have 8 at this last comp? What a few training that kind of like, when I get to this number, I'm going to compete. We have a few of those. I don't know, I would say 50% of the members.
Okay.
But we don't have a huge member base either. I think there's like 40-ish
Okay.
on the books now. So,
That's still pretty good though.
Yeah.
If you've got 20 people competing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
How many did you have at States? Because you were handling quite a few at States.
Do you know what
weren't
it was at States is that everyone needed their knees wrapped and everyone was in a different weight class that went straight after the next person. So I was like, they needed their knees wrapped, they needed theirs done in warm-ups, they needed theirs done. Yeah, it was crazy.
You were running around.
But yeah, how many do we have at States? We have 4 on day 1 and
had a
then
few.
3, so 7.
I was on the
7.
platform spotting, and every
Yeah.
time I looked, you were there.
Black hair.
So you had a few.
I also just help people though. You know what I mean? So sometimes they're not my people. I'm so like, cool.
One of the awesome things that I've noticed about the comps though is just the sense of community and the
Yeah.
fact that other coaches are willing to help other lifters and everyone's sort of, you know, going, supporting each other. And
Emad
it's-
helped me. Thank you, Emad. Every time I looked up, I'm like, it's okay. Emad's there with them.
So you started this very early on when there weren't as many women in the sport.
Yes.
Yeah. How much has it changed for you? Like, how much have you seen it change?
Do you mean like as a competitor?
Sure.
Yeah.
As a competitor, as a coach,
I feel like
whatever.
it's changed heaps. It's just, it's growing and growing and growing. Like literally every day I feel like there's a new face and their ability is getting, do you know what I mean? More and more. The standard is
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. I was just watching Kate Mitchell doing
Did you
130
see that?
kilogram stone. Just
fucking
just
easy.
fun. Like,
What do you attribute the growth to? What do you think has been the biggest cause? Because let's
I
face it,
feel like
traditionally-
everyone, do you know what? No, I honestly think that it was kind of like we started something at the same time as a lot of other people also started something. And whether some gyms looked at it and thought this is a market, or whether they looked at it and gone, you know, this is something we would like to help the community with, I don't really care, because whatever happened, it worked. Does that make sense? But I do feel like everybody seemed to start doing this at the same time, like, and I think that because everybody did their bit, it did grow. Like it just kind of kept going and going and going. So,
And there's been a massive change in the entire fitness industry. Like even if you go to commercial gyms, the movement has gone away from like aesthetics to functional strength now. Most gyms have bumper plates and platforms. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
the
matrix or
equipment's
something.
changing.
Yeah, it's completely changing, which is great.
It's good.
Maybe people are sick of like dieting.
Maybe.
Bloody cardio.
I think also role models, like it's starting to get a little bit more media attention.
Yes,
Especially things like
100%.
CrossFit and the competitions.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how much of a role
Same.
that I mean, you guys can confirm or deny this, but as guys...
I like watching the games.
No, but I was going to say the athletes, like girls might aspire to be like the athletes. 'Cause
Yeah.
especially as guys
Yeah.
growing up, powerlifting wasn't exactly a massively known sport when we were growing up, but everyone that you seem to talk to, leave the flies alone. Everyone that you seem to talk to, all the guys you seem to talk to, got into it because mainly from a physical perspective, but a lot of the time it was like wrestling and stuff like that. That was a big thing, but now it's kind of becoming more fitness, if that makes sense, like functional fitness, CrossFit, or whether it's whatever.
Well, when I was born and I was a kid, it was because Arnold was huge, you know. Like you're
Well,
watching
there's
the
that too.
Arnold movies,
Yeah.
and then I was a big Hulk Hogan fan, and you've seen these, you know, this dude with these 20-inch pythons and shit. And I'm 4 years old, going,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, I'm that big. I'm struggling, obviously, but yeah, there was that fascination, but it's sort of never really been the same for women, but it's just exploded in the last few years, and it's fantastic.
I don't feel like I had a lot of role models.
Yeah.
Like, my brother was my role model. He was, like, when I started trying to strength train, as I said, I wanted to get in the CFA, my kids were little. They were teeny little dots. I was at home, could never get to a gym. It was horrible. So he brought me all these free weights. He brought me, like, just from his home gym, set me up with my famous sled. Where is it? It's over there, tucked away in the corner. That's all I used to have. And I used to just walk up and down in my yard. And do you know what I mean? So I guess mine was goal orientated though for career purposes. Like,
Yes.
that's where I wanted to be and that's where I wanted to go. And then I think when I did Pro Raw, so I did that strongman comp, but once again, there wasn't a lot of people to aspire to. Like, there wasn't a lot of people where I was going, I want to be like them. Like, it just didn't exist. Well, I'm sure it did, but it didn't in my view. And the social media wasn't as big then either.
Yeah.
I've forgotten where we were at.
Role models.
Role models. But so one thing I started doing straight away is, as soon as I could, was started putting all my stuff up. And I would feel like an idiot sometimes because I'd be like, oh, it's not even that good. But I was like, oh, but maybe, maybe someone else will see that. And it did. And I feel like it really took off in the sense that then all of a sudden other women would start posting their stuff. And then, so whether it was like, they did it because I did it, but everybody just started doing it, and it just grew, didn't it? And now there's heaps of people. Like Pro Raw was really good for me, that first Pro Raw, because I think there was like 11 of us, and it was sorted out on a Wilks formula. So there was, is it Landy Weir?
Yeah.
She was amazing. Like, she was a lot lighter than me, but
60, like low 60s or something.
even lighter, wasn't she? Like,
I thought she was
like a 52 class.
Really? I thought she was like 60, but I could be
No,
wrong.
she was teeny.
She was very little.
But she's strong.
Yeah, very strong.
And even though my numbers were actually comparable, but they weren't on Wilks. So that was my first introduction, was going off formula. So instead of aspiring to people as in like, oh, they're hitting that total, I had to look at it as in, oh, I want to do like 3 times my body weight, or I want to do 2 times my body weight. So now I just love the total.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what anyone's body weight is. I'm like, look at that total. I want to do that total. Everyone's like, yeah, they're twice your weight. I don't care. I'm going to do it. One day.
So obviously there's been a lot of growth of women in the sport, in strength sports. Do you still get strange reactions from people? Like if you...
Yes.
I mean, you guys aren't exactly gigantic, but at the same time, you can
Fucking
tell,
huge.
you can tell by looks that you're
Tank.
like you're wearing widescreen. But do you get weird reactions from people, like not even looks-wise, but if you talk to people about it, do they kind of
I sometimes
pull
get
weird faces?
sick of talking to people.
I get
about
asked,
it.
like, is that the sport that you put the weight over your head?
Yeah.
Do you have to wear heels? Is that why
Yes.
you're getting your hair done?
Is that the one you get spray tan? No.
Oh, you have to get extra dark, don't you?
Yeah.
Like your shades.
So do you find that, guys get intimidated by you?
Not really.
Not so
Not here.
intimidating.
Do you know what? Not here. I feel like when I was at Dermot's, I'd always have, because I used to work there first, and I'd always feel like people were staring at me. Like I'd be deadlifting going,
Yeah.
oh, really, I just look straight ahead because the mirror was there.
Yeah, you can see the
I don't have to look over my shoulder, really.
It's probably not safe either.
It's probably not ideal.
Dakoda, you've got a pretty funny story about something like this.
Oh, yes. A few months ago, I think I went on a first date, and one of his comments were, oh, your arms are bigger than mine. There wasn't a second date.
Did you go like this?
I don't know what you're talking about, mate. That away.
So, just with the gym, with the gym here, what's the goal for the future? Like, do you want to see specifically? Obviously, you're doing Strongwoman Australia, so you want to see that grow.
Yes.
Do you specifically want more women in your gym, or what's the focus
Do
here?
you know, we were pretty much all women here.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. You'd walk in and literally there was just only women. The other day, Dakoda and I walked in at the same time. There was only men in the gym. We nearly walked out. Like, what's happened? Yeah, we'd love to see more. I would love to see more strong women still. I feel like powerlifting is taking off.
Yeah.
I don't really know why strong woman doesn't have as, like, it's still huge now compared to what it was, but I don't know why powerlifting takes off so much and strong woman doesn't. So I'd like to try and I guess investigate that a little bit more, see what else we can do to try and grow that, and of course we can have people do that here. So that's definitely something we're working towards. I run Best in the West, which is a competition I started last year. I would really like that to take off even more so. So this year I've had interest from 5 international competitors, which is really cool. So if they can make their way over here, that would definitely be amazing. I feel like it'll be a lot bigger this year than last year, but it's a matter of funding it. So any sponsors, let me know.
How can people get in touch with you if they do want to compete or sponsor?
Contacted me on Joe. Nah, seriously, Joe. Joe at Be Strong Fitness Geelong.com.au. Better not forget that. Yeah, because we definitely do need sponsors. So at the moment I've got the Strongwoman Australia t-shirts that we've just put up. Any money raised from that will go into Strongwoman Australia. It doesn't go to me. So I'm putting the money up for it. It's got its own bank account. It's its own thing.
Cool.
We've also started Masters Online, which is a women's only Masters competition, which we're trialling for the first year. So we've got 18 people so far registered for that, and the money from that will go towards Best in the West as well, and Strongwoman Australia. So we just really want to push the sport. It would be really awesome to have more women here.
Yep.
It would be.
Cool.
Just women.
Just women.
So-
That's it.
That's it. It's like, what's
It'd
that?
be really good to have.
Fernwood.
It's Fernwood, yeah.
Fernwood.
Oh God.
Yeah, you're basically curved.
That's what we do.
But tough.
So that's the gym. What about your own aspirations? What do you guys want to do with the sport?
Just be strong as fuck.
I just want to be strong. Just want to get stronger.
Strong enough to win Pro Raw?
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Win something.
Yeah.
Win something.
I don't know, I don't really have a number goal or anything. I just
Keep getting
Just got to
better.
keep going, keep chipping away at it.
Yeah. Cool. What about, like, competition-wise? Are you going to keep doing 3 lifts? Are you interested in doing bench only or deadlift only or anything like that? Or what's the plan?
I did one push-pull and I regretted it because I should have done 3 lifts and then I would have qualified for nationals rather than doing the States 5 weeks after Pro Raw.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless I'm injured or something, I'd probably just do 3 lifts, I think.
What's your favourite lift to do of the 3?
Deadlifts, for sure.
Cool.
Are they bringing in that squat only comp? I feel like there was talk about that.
Is there a squat?
I've heard about this
That'd be
thing.
so weird.
I think that I would do it. I think if it was like off, like, because I do the equip stuff every now and then, if it wasn't going to interfere with another comp, I'd really
Can I try
like
to get squat?
Fuck, it'd just be amazing just to go, all right, I'm
Would
going to
you
spend the
deadlift
next
only?
12 weeks squatting.
I'd do a deadlift only actually.
Yeah.
It just
250.
Ambitious.
You've got to be.
So are you still doing equipped lifting?
I do it randomly when I feel like, hey, there's a comp, let's do equipped lifting. So as I said, I've only done it twice. I borrowed all the stuff that I used, all the equipment. It was all too big. I'm pretty sure my raw deadlift and my equipped deadlift are exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I probably didn't gain a lot. My raw bench isn't much better than my, my equipped bench isn't, so I haven't put a lot of work into it. It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah, cool. That's the main
Makes you
reason to do
lift slightly heavier, except in my deadlift.
Yeah.
it. Cool. There was one thing I was going to bring up, but now I can't think of it. So is there
I
anything
wanted to
you
actually
say?
bring up online coaching. You touched on online coaching
Yes.
before. Are you taking clients on at the
Yes.
moment?
So
And
I don't take a lot. I've
Okay.
only got oh god, how many do I have? We have like 5 for me, and then we have like our online ones that are also at the gym. Does that make sense? But like
Yeah, yeah.
online that we don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah.
But I like to individualize everything. So I feel like if I was one of those, I shouldn't say one of those people because templates really bloody work, so take that back. But if I was just had a template that people could follow, I would take on a lot more people, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not my thing. It's never been my thing. I'm not going to release a book saying this is the famous, only, follow
Joe's
this
12 week
Joe's
shred.
12 weeks, yeah.
12 weeks straight.
Superhero challenge. I feel like I like to keep things a bit more personal, and
That's awesome.
I like to be able to deal with everybody individually. So
One thing I meant to ask you earlier on is, what's your sporting background like? Like, did you do anything really competitive before you got into this?
I played netball.
We saw some of your basketball skills before.
See that?
Quite
Yeah.
impressive.
Impeccable basketball.
I mean, they're pretty good. Must admit.
I'm ready to turn pro. Don't to brag, but I will.
I will cross you up.
That was
I think that's it. Just netball,
Just netball.
some rugby. That's it.
like tackle people.
Yeah, it's good. Tried.
I played AFL football once, and I just got pulled up every 2 seconds, and I don't even what I did wrong yet. So I still don't know.
Look into it.
I'm like, should bring them up.
So this is kind of the main competition that you've...
Yeah, I used to do netball quite competitively and athletics as well.
Cool. All right. Is there anything that you guys want to say? Like, is there anything for people that are watching this, anything you want to tell them? Any advice you want to give to lifters?
Pearls of wisdom.
Yeah,
Don't be shit.
it's a good one.
Be strong.
At Fitness Geelong.
Nice.
Nah,
Smooth.
just make a start. Lots of people just kind of get a bit daunted, a bit overwhelmed, especially with the numbers at the moment. Like, as we mentioned, so many people that are so strong now, but at the end of the day, they all started somewhere. So, you know, it's
Do you
just
think
what you got
it's
to do.
daunting getting into this sport as a female? Because it's a pretty male-dominant sport.
Depends who you're around. I
Yeah.
had a really good support system at Elite Sports Performance. Like, I mean, there was no females.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Vicky. Vicky is an amazing IPF lifter, actually. But there was, I think I was okay. Like, I just kind of fell into it. I can see how it could be daunting, though. And, like, everybody gets anxious going into a competition or, you know, that's just the way it is. That's whether you're female or male, I'm assuming. It wouldn't just be because you're a female. So,
I think one of the massive things that helped me is that, like, one of the focuses is not everyone else. Like, I didn't even think of anyone else. Like, I mean, I do more so now, but at the start, like, it was just about like, tracking what I'm doing, whereas maybe people focus on other people's numbers too much, and that's daunting as fuck. Like, I remember when I first started, I was like, how come they're squatting 180 kilos and I'm not? And it's like, because they've been training for God knows how long.
Yeah.
So it's...
I feel like we had this conversation a fair few times.
Yeah, like, at least once a month, I think.
Performance anxiety thing
Yeah,
as opposed
yeah.
to, like, being scared to socially be at an event.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty normal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if it's just women related or whether it's just across the board. That's how it is. So I feel like there's enough women out there doing it now. Do you know what I mean? It's not as daunting, and I think there's a lot of really good female coaches too. which makes a difference, you know, like you don't have to go to a male coach if they want to seek out a female coach, or they feel more comfortable with women's only groups, or then that's available pretty much everywhere now. So.
Cool. One thing that I wanted to mention and I want to get your take on was I noticed, and we've spoken about this.
My hugs, alright.
No, with your hugs. So I sent you a video clip through the week before this of some footage I caught of you guys off camera.
I'm like, shit,
What has he seen?
So there's another girl warming up, or not warming up, she's actually on the bench. I think it's her second attempt, and you guys are doing a bit of a booty dance. Obviously you don't take the whole thing that seriously. Like as in,
That was a really interesting conversation and how that began.
Yeah.
I feel like you thought we were pointing at the camera,
it looked like you were.
but we weren't.
I'm going to put this clip up so everyone knows what we're
Alright,
talking about.
what we were doing, we were saying it'd be really nice to have an MC here. And I said to Dakoda, we could probably do this together.
Right.
How it should start is, I do a booty dance across the screen.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back across like this. Which is, you look at the video,
It was
you'll
a
see that.
serious conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
It was
And we were
100%
actually
serious.
mapping it out. So when we pointed across, we were saying we
debating.
would have to do it across the whole
Across,
front
yeah.
while we're
Because it
saying the
looked like
numbers.
you were shaking your ass and then went, oh shit, there's a camera.
I mean, we had to realize.
I thought it was just props.
Because he did say there was no live feed, so we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about it. Yeah, no, we had to worry about it.
Right. So the reason I bring
I mean,
that up,
on that, we probably shouldn't be MCs, Mark.
Well, maybe we should.
Perspective.
We did discuss it a few times throughout the day.
the reason I bring that up isn't to embarrass you for your dancing, which was glorious, by the way. But you see a lot at competitions, people warming up for lifts. They take everything very seriously, or they're walking around with their headphones on. They're not very social. You both see, and your whole group, in fact, seem to actually really enjoy the events, and you're pretty laid back and actually having fun with it.
Yeah.
Is that a really big focus for you?
It's just like
It's just what
accidentally.
happens.
Just accidentally fun.
I know that I'm probably, when I compete, I've always competed on my own. So when I started, I had I don't train with people. Like I come in, I train with Dave. I don't have this around me all the time. And when I compete, I like to focus. So I'm probably one of those boring people, but
You're a bit more serious.
yeah, but but these girls, this is what we do. This is what they're exposed to in training. It's we just have a bit of fun. We get the job done.
I like it simple.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that. We wouldn't have done that. We wouldn't have done that exact thing had Dakoda been going up for a deadlift or a squat at that point.
Yeah.
And I don't think you were up next for the bench.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We wouldn't have done it right prior to.
I don't know, it's kind of weird because I'm
But
like,
we do just have a bit of fun. Even in warm-ups, like I have a bit of fun.
There seems to be two different schools of thought, and it's one is people are super serious and try to stomp around and psych themselves
Yes.
up,
Can't do it.
and the other is that people want to stay out of their own heads. So I'm assuming you guys mucking around and being jovial off to the side or backstage is because you're trying to get out of your head.
Yeah.
Is that
and just
pretty
have
fair?
fun. Just have fun. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I think that's for me.
I like
getting
to
out
be
of
in
my
my own head.
Yeah.
When I compete. I do. I
That doesn't work
actually
for me.
visualize what's going to happen. So if you see me standing at the chalk bowl, it's really hard when we all compete at the same comps because I'm like, yay, Dakoda!
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're just like, you're completely opposite.
But I can. I don't need to do it for 20 minutes.
Yes.
You know, I can.
Turn it on.
Yes,
All
that's
day,
right.
yeah.
My last deadlift at Pro Raw, I was a bit disappointed because I have a routine of doing that, and I couldn't do it because Dakoda was right before me, and I actually thought it went Dakoda someone else than me, and I wasn't ready. And then all of a sudden, it's like, shit, that's like the weight's on the bar, and so, and I didn't hit that lift. It was a big reach anyway. So whether it was that I didn't focus how I usually do, who knows? Get it next time.
So how do you normally focus? Like, have you got specific things? So when we did podcast episode 1 with Gwaine, he was talking about getting ready for big squats. There's actually a visualization process he goes through that kind of gets him in the mood, I guess, or in the zone. Is there anything you guys do that is similar to that? Like, do you have a specific routine?
Well, I really just kind of started it, really. Like, it's kind of a new thing, but I feel like it really works. But I like to really be in the moment now, whereas before I'd just be like, don't think about it, just go out and lift. Whereas now I'm kind of like, no, I want to know how the bar feels in my hands when I grab it. I want to know that it's sitting on my back in the right position.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to actually know everything. I've picked my point that I'll be looking at before I walk out there, and I look at the same thing. When I'm at backstage, I can sit there and I can watch myself hitting that lift, looking at that point. So I really enjoyed that though. That I really put that into play. I have to mention Travis again because I actually read about that in one of his ebooks, Performance Zone, and I got a lot out of it. I got a heap out of it. And you know, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but usually I'll leave a comp and I'm like, shit, I can't even remember doing that lift. Did I even do that? Yeah. Whereas every single lift, I remember everything that I did at that comp, and I loved it. I loved walking out, or walking wherever, leaving and going. I actually had a feel for the crowd. Had a feel, like how often do you get to get up in front of that many people and do something that you love doing, and to walk away and not remember it? Who wants to do that? And same with the Strongwoman. Like, I used to get really nervous and I'd try and zone out so that I didn't see the crowd, whereas I actually walk out into the middle of the arena and look around and go, I don't want to swear. This is awesome.
I swore a lot.
I mouthed a swear word before. I'm like,
you actually appreciate the event. You appreciate the situation.
And I really enjoy doing that now. I feel like it's a really important part of competing.
Does that help you to feed off the crowd a little bit? Like if they're making a lot of noise, which a lot of the time they will, if they're carrying
Does
on
with
and stuff,
strongman, does with strongman. I don't hear it with powerlifting. I don't hear a thing. With the Strongwoman, yeah, for sure. Because like your events aren't over and done with in half a second. And as I said, like the yoke, you could be walking. Like, how much do you squat? How much change your body weight do you squat? Like, I'm not triple body weight squat, but I can walk with 4 times body weight on the yoke. You know, like that's a fucking lot of weight. And to have everyone going, oh my god, that's amazing, and screaming, and yelling, you need it. And if you drop it, do you know how hard that is to pick up again? So if you drop it, you don't want to pick it up again. But if you've got everyone there yelling at you, telling you to pick it up again, you'll pick it up again.
Yeah, definitely helps. Cool. Dakoda, what about you?
I don't know. I'm kind of weird because I like to be distracted, but I don't at the same time. Like I get kind of like right before I'm going to lift, I don't really want to talk to anyone, but I don't know. I like to be distracted. Like if I think about the lift or I think about the technicalities of what could go right, what could go wrong, freaks me out. So I kind of like to be left alone, but then distracted at the same time. So it's kind of...
I can tell. I've learned everybody.
I get agitated.
And I watch for everyone, and you can kind of see when people go, or even like when Dakoda goes from, okay, I'm having fun, I'm not having fun anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when you go, no one talk to her.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it was like around the squat or something, and we were like near like everyone where everyone was standing, and like it was all fine until like one lifter like before me was squatting, and then I was just like I didn't talk to anyone. Like people were trying to talk to me, and I just blanked, and I'm like I don't want to talk to you right now. Just leave me alone. Like
go away.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I find it interesting how different lifters are though. Like the intensity levels, and you just calmly walk out. Like it's interesting.
Yeah. Cool. What about music? Like, what's your go-to music for PRs?
Tracy Chapman.
Nice. Pump up stuff. Fast car.
Real nasty shit.
Taylor Swift.
Standard.
It's a huge powerlifting
It's about what we hear.
You're not big on music, are you? Really? Like massively? Like
I'm not big on heavy music, heavy metal. I'm just a cruise. I just like cruisy, like mellow. I lifted to Tracy Chapman the other day. I know we're just joking about it, but
it's not actually a joke.
HQ, we've often got
Lily
like,
Allen.
Wham and stuff playing, so I'm trying to just get used to it.
I think I get along well with Marcos and the music he plays because I love it at comps. Like, yes.
AC/DC.
So you're a metalhead?
Yes. Yeah. Mostly with deadlifts. I don't know why, but always with deadlifts, need metal.
Yep.
Every other time, it's just loud, intense.
So if you were pulling for a record at Pro Raw, Emad comes across and says, you can pick your song, what are you picking?
Definitely Metallica. Anything Metallica.
What? Old Metallica, new Metallica?
Old Metallica.
Something off Justice or Ride the Lightning or something.
Yeah,
crazy
definitely.
fast.
Yeah. I like one, but it just, it takes about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, my setup... Exactly, It's like, give me 20, start it now, I'll warm up. Yeah.
Joe, same question, you don't care? Music doesn't matter.
Nah, Tracy. Everclear. I love Everclear.
Okay.
AC/DC. Cruisy music.
They're
What
terrible
Marcos
choices,
is,
Joe.
yeah, what Marcos plays. Keep doing it, Marcos.
So bad.
I'll come up with the next
I like
playlist,
the
Marcos.
I like the air horn.
Lily Allen.
Cool. All right, I think we've covered a great deal of what we wanted to say. So,
Yeah.
did you have any more questions?
Anything else you guys want to plug? Take the opportunity.
Yeah. Plug
What if
your
we
gym,
plug
plug your
somewhere?
Instagram if you want
Businesses.
followers. Something.
Dakoda Fanning. Look me up. Check my shit out.
Joanne Greagen. Mine's less exciting.
No, can I stop there? It is actually on Instagram at Dakoda Fanning, isn't it?
Underscore, I think.
Underscore, yeah.
It's
Get
a straight
it
up
right,
under.
Give her a follow, check it out.
What else have we got? Strongwoman Australia page.
Yeah.
Be Strong Fitness Geelong.
Really cool facility, by the way.
Yes,
So
it
anyone
is.
that's nearby.
cool.
And it's not actually in Geelong, it's in Lara. which
Yeah,
is-
so we're actually not far from Melbourne.
Yeah, it's not that far.
We actually have a few people come down and do
only
strong
2 minutes
Saturdays.
off the highway, freeway.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
far.
easy
It's
as.
easy
It's
drive.
a really cool facility, and I ran around with the camcorder before, so I'll put up a video.
Cool.
I might get some more footage once this is all out the way, but everything you could possibly want. Like,
Yeah.
mono, you've got platforms and specialty bars, and it's
Strongman.
really cool. Strongman stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, everything you could possibly want. So very cool.
It's here. And it's kind of clean.
It's very clean.
It's a little clean.
It's very clean.
Some shit
We
over there.
try some stuff out.
One thing I didn't,
We're looking around going, we're going to pick on the place now.
one thing I didn't ask before, are you the only coach here?
No, oh, well, Dave. Dave coaches
So
as
it's
well.
just the two of you?
Yes, and we've got Sandra who just does, she runs our classes,
Yep.
some of our classes for us, but she's actually doing, we run strength camps.
Okay.
So people run boot camps, we're running a strength camp at the moment. We've got a few BFA members and stuff like that
Yep.
over doing that. But Sandra's also doing that. Yeah, it's good that we got them in.
So how long do the strength camps go
8
for?
weeks.
8 weeks?
So we're hoping, like, what Sandra's trying to get out of it is to learn a bit more about coaching for strength as well. So yeah.
Who'd you get from BFA?
A couple of people.
You don't know
I
that?
don't want to mention it. Well, I don't feel like I want to go into it. I feel like I
his
shouldn't
face?
mention everyone's names.
Cool.
They may not want to be mentioned.
Awesome. Well, thank you both
In
very
the credits,
much.
it'll come up. From BFA.
Well, thank you both very much for doing this, putting the time aside and letting us in here. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
and letting
being
us.
Pleasure.
Thank you. That's very great. And yeah, we will obviously at Nats we're going to record some footage so people can keep an eye out for that.
We'll be there.
Do you need us to pose out? Like,
I reckon
Please.
you should. Did you have a comp you wanted to mention?
No. Got a wanted to mention.
Tell me in the car.
Oh no, we'll put that in writing.
Yes,
Yeah, you're gonna